hottest day of the year. So you can thank me later for that. Hi there, my name is David Dice, and I'm the Director of Montgomery County's Department of General Services. And it is my distinct pleasure to welcome you to the groundbreaking of the nation's largest renewable energy powered transit depot. This is the reality of renewable energy. We're excited about this. Upon completion of this facility, the David F. Bone Equipment Maintenance and Transit Operations Center will be the largest renewable energy powered transit depot, the largest transit depot microgrid in the nation. And once phase two, this is all just phase one. Phase two is the construction of a hydrogen generation and fueling facility, which will be the first on the East Coast to produce on-site green hydrogen. This is important stuff, and you're right here at the beginning of it. So thank you for coming. I'll go ahead and risk a sunburn. Before we get started, we have some folks we'd like to recognize. I know it's hot, and we've got 10 speakers. So I've got a little note up here that says, please limit your remarks to 3 minutes. So that includes me. So I need to recognize the folks that are here with us. I am on all likelihood going to miss some people, so forgive me and raise your hand if you want to be recognized. But again, I'm David Dice, Director of the county's Department of General Services. It's our distinct pleasure to work with other departments to build and maintain and operate their facilities. Leading our list of dignitaries, of course, is the county executive, Mr. Mark Elrich. Council President and District 1 Council Member Andrew Friedson. District 5 Council Member Dawn Lutke. I'm going down the speaker list right now. I'll get back. 7. That's right. I had 7. What did I say? 5. Oh, whatever. Juan Macias, CEO of Alpha Structure. Audrey Severn, representing Senator Chris Van Hollen's office. Also today, representing federal elected officials are Kathleen Connor from Jamie Graskin's office, Kathleen, and Kevin Mack from Senator Ben Cardin's office. Where's Kevin? There he is. Today with us also, although I haven't seen him yet, is David Schilling, FTA Region 3 DC Metro Office Director. There he is. Okay. Snuck up on me. Also is Deputy Assistant Secretary Jeff Meridian with the Department of Energy. Eric Kaufman, Director of Energy Services, Maryland Energy Administration. Eric, good to see you again. Chris Conklin, Director of Montgomery County Department of Transportation. He's the reason we built this thing and maintain it. And Tamla Olivier, did I pronounce that right? With Senior Vice President Operations and Chief Operating Officer for PEPCO. That is our list of speakers. I see Council Member Mink just showed up, snuck in on me. So let's recognize our other council members. I had first on the list because she was the first that said that was coming was Natalie Penny-Gonzalez, but I don't see Natalie here. We have District 3 Council Member Sidney Katz. At-large Council Member Lori Ann Sales. You have got to be hot because I'm hot. Wow. District 2 Council Member Marilyn Balcom. And Gaithersburg Mayor Judd Ashman. And then I have on the list a number of Maryland state delegates who RSVP'd. I don't see all of them here, but I'm going to call them out just in case. Delegate Jared Solomon, District 18. Delegate Lily Chi, District 15. Delegate Pam Queen, District 14. Delegate Ryan Spiegel, District 17. There. You can brag to your other colleagues that you showed up. Natalie Ziegler, District 9A, and Linda Foley, District 15. I want to also recognize folks from, I saw John Munger. John, EPA, our Director of Environmental Protection is with us. Thank you, John. If I missed anybody, my sincere apologies. I want to end this because it's hot by recognizing the team from DGS that has made this project possible. And that is starting with Deputy Director Greg Ossent, standing over there in the dark suit, trying to look inconspicuous. And Don Shurman, who's Chief of the General Services Office of Energy and Sustainability, is the fellow with the hard hat in the background, looking somewhat frazzled. And Michael Yambrock, who is the with our Office of Energy and Sustainability and the project manager for this. Michael. Other folks, I'm going to leave it to Juan to recognize the folks from his office, but in the interest, once again, of time, I'm going to sit down and shut up and turn this over to the man whose vision continues to drive everything you do. If you live in Montgomery County, you should be very proud that Montgomery County is committed to leading by example. And that's a principle that is fully embraced by County Executive Mark Elrich, and it's a pleasure to get his comments every now and then that drive me endlessly to perform. County Executive Elrich.
So driving David to perform is one of my favorite things, but it's rewarding because he performs. And this is an example of what that means. I want to thank everybody who's here today, the council members, the state and federal delegation, Alpha Structure, Federal Transit Administration, Maryland Energy Administration, Department of Energy, PEPCO, Director David Dyson, the Department of General Services, and Director Chris Conklin, the Department of Transportation. The last two were critical to making sure this project happened. It doesn't happen without their energy and desire to make these things become real. When we started out on this journey of trying to deal with climate change and adopted our climate plan, I guess it was 2017, I'd be the first person to confess, and I confessed it at the time. We set really aggressive goals. We did not know how we were going to get there in that moment because the technologies weren't there for a lot of things. We actually didn't much discuss hydrogen in the plan. But here we are talking about a hydrogen facility that's going to produce hydrogen for our hydrogen-powered buses. And we had an underlying faith that technology was evolving in the right direction and that it would help us tackle climate change rather than being stuck with the technology of 2017. And so you've got the ability to create hydrogen. You've got a microgrid, the second microgrid in Montgomery County, the largest on the East Coast, probably the country. We have the largest bus fleet, by the way, in anybody in the DMV region. The size of Montgomery County's ride-on system is almost as large as all the other bus systems except WMATA combined. Yes, it is amazing. That's how much we do to help move people on transit and get them out of cars. And this is exciting because hydrogen buses and electric buses are the wave of the future. And the technology, the mileage is improving, range is improving. This stuff just keeps getting better. So I'm excited to be here and excited about what we're going to be able to do. This groundbreaking is new ground. Like I said, largest renewable energy powered bus depot in the nation. And it's a big step toward advancing our climate goals and reaching net carbon emissions by 2035. The hard thing is it's going to be easier for the county to do it than it is for the county or the county government to the county as a whole. We still have to get residents and businesses to make the switch. Even if government switches everything, we'll never achieve our climate goals. It's dependent on the willingness of residents and businesses to do the right thing in their heating and cooling systems at home and to move themselves into electric cars. I will say there's more good news on the electric car front. I'm looking at sub $30,000 electric vehicles with ranges around 200 miles. There's no reason to think we can't make this transition, but everybody's got to be a part of it. MC.DOT right now is the largest fuel consumer in the county. The county uses more than 5 million gallons of fuel a year, and DOT uses 3.8 million gallons of that fuel. And the EMTOC, which is our largest depot in the system, is the system's largest consumer with 1.7 million gallons flowing out of this facility into vehicles. And soon, hopefully, that'll be a thing of the past. The system's also going to send renewable energy back into the grid, and it's going to power zero-emission buses, and it's going to power the 5 EMTOC buildings on this site. So that's another important thing we're doing with this. And the 2 depots we have are eventually going to power 335 zero-emission transit buses. And EMTOC alone is going to accommodate 200 zero-emission buses. Most of them will be the hydrogen fuel cell buses. Bold projects like this only happen through partnership. Both Brookfield and EMTOC, led by Alpha Structure, have been great partners in this. I want to thank our federal and state partners and the congressional delegation. And the following will tell you why I thank them so much. $14.8 million to the project, $4.3 million from the feds for fuel cell buses, $9 million for the hydrogen site, and a little more than $1 million for workforce development. Without those contributions, projects like this aren't going to happen. We know this is a heavy load, and if we don't have support from everybody who plays in this game, we don't get where we need to go. So the support from the federal government and Annapolis has been key. Our state partners in Annapolis, I want to thank the Maryland Energy Administration for $200,000 that helped fund the EMTOC study. And we're fortunate to have really great partners across the county. Department of Environmental Protection is a key player on all this. They're laying out the path forward, and they're actually developing plans. We have gone beyond the talking about it stage to the doing stage. And I think one thing we try to tell people when we go to them and say, we want you to support us and provide us money, we're not experimenting now. We're not doing pilots. We don't want money for lots of studies about what can and cannot be done. We know what we need to have to do. And we know what technologies are out there. And we know what to do with your money if you give it to us. We put it to work. And that's what you're seeing here. Your money is going to work. And I hope when you go back to your offices, you can tell the people in your departments that you've seen what a county does with money when they're serious about moving the needle forward. I want to thank John and Sarah for the work in the partnership. Been great additions to the team. Your leadership helps motivate the people who work for you. And I think it helps give confidence in the public that we know what we're doing. We're moving this in the right direction. This EMTOC station is engineered and it's interconnected with PEPCO, and I want to thank PEPCO. You know, in the old days, PEPCO and the county government did not have the greatest of all relationships. You've become much better partners, and it's great to be able to talk to you about the things we need to do next and where we need your cooperation. Instead of always hearing can't be done, can't be done, can't be done, we're in a phase where we're talking about how do we move the needle forward. So I want to thank you for that. It is much better to say nice things about you than what I used to say about you. This island, this EMTOC facility is also engineered to go into island mode. And that means if the system goes down, the island stays electrified. Between our batteries and the microgrid here, we keep operating, and that's really, really important. We've done a few of these. Hopefully we'll be doing more of these. And I'm going to bend this thing, and the water bottle fell. Okay. Anyway, thank you all. I'm excited about breaking ground, and hopefully you guys will get a chance to look around a little bit. But I hope everybody who's been part of that, you know, feels proud of what you've done, because this is real tangible evidence of what we do when we work together. Thank you.
The podium is designed to fall apart if you talk for longer than 3 minutes. There we go. Just don't lean on it, everybody else. So, yeah, just as a side note, following up on what the executive just said, this facility will generate will reduce greenhouse gas emissions by over 51,000 metric tons over the duration of the 25-year payback period of the project. That's equivalent to taking 10,000 cars off the road. It's pretty significant stuff. Leading by example is what we do. We do it not in isolation, but it's the entirety of the county government enterprise, both the executive and legislative branch. And I want to invite Council President Andrew Friedson to come up and share his perspective on this great event.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I'm Andrew Friedson, the president of the Montgomery County Council. Thrilled to not lean on this podium and to be here with so many of our partners that made this possible. Things like this, days like this don't happen without partnership at the federal and state and county level, partnership with community partners like PEPCO, partnership with the private sector, and with all of you here today. I'm excited to be here with our district council member, Don Luca, you'll hear from in a moment, as well as our other council colleagues, council members Mink, Katz, Balcom, and Sales. This is exciting. We're talking about the beginning of the largest transit depot microgrid project in the entire United States of America. Let that sink in for a minute, and you're going to hear it, I'm sure, multiple times today, because it's something that we all, as Montgomery County residents, should be proud of. I am thrilled to live in a county and to serve a county that really is leading by example and really is paving the way for jurisdictions around the country to do this. And when we talk about it, we just 2 years ago celebrated the launch of the Brookville Smart Energy Bus Depot, the county's first fully constructed microgrid powered bus depot, which is currently the largest in the country. So let us reflect on the fact that Montgomery County is beating Montgomery County's own records here today, folks. And that's important because we're not just resting on our laurels when it comes to addressing climate issues here in Montgomery County. We are building on the foundation and the historic moments that we have had and the national and global leadership that we are proving each and every day. Our partnerships, as mentioned, are what makes this possible. Montgomery County government can't do this alone. We are leaders in this space, but we're leaders thanks to our federal partners, thanks to our state partners, thanks to our private sector partners who are making this possible. This microgrid will feature electric bus charging and on-site green hydrogen production, all powered by solar and battery energy storage. Designed and developed by Alpha Structure, the county's long-term energy infrastructure partner, the Equipment Maintenance and Transit Operation Center microgrid will be the first on the East Coast to produce green energy on site and will be the largest bus depot microgrid in the country. So this breaks multiple records, and it breaks our own record here in Montgomery County, and it really does just demonstrate all that we are continuing to do. You heard the county executive mention that in 2017, the Montgomery County Council at the time declared a climate emergency. And we committed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 80% in 2027 and 100% by 2035. According to the recent FY23 Climate Action Plan, the county has already begun 77 of the 86 recommendations set forth in the plan, and we're making progress on 49 of those recommendations. So those efforts happen together. They happen when we invest in organizations like the Green Bank to build on these efforts here. Was proud that our recent budget included nearly $20 million for the Green Bank to continue the work that they are doing and the leadership that they have. And I'm proud that they are catalyzing 12 clean energy projects with a total investment of $13 million in value as well. So this project, in addition to all the other efforts that we are taking, are allowing Montgomery County to truly be a national and a global leader when it comes to leveraging partnerships and leveraging public assets for public good to tackle our climate initiatives and build a greener and more sustainable future. And just want to thank everybody here today, everybody who made this possible, and the power of partnership and of leadership in moving it forward. Thank you so much.
By the way, we are surrounded by representative electric vehicles in our fleet, from a Ford pickup truck, the buses. In fact, this podium, this event is all being powered by an electric vehicle. And the electric buses are cooling centers also. So if you get a little overwhelmed by the heat, we can go into the bus to cool down. Some of our library service vehicles, a Ford Mach-E. So we're actually doing this across the board. So it's a wonderful sign of our great progress. Well, you are on her turf. So I'm going to ask Council Member from District 7, Councilmember Dawn Lucky, to come forward. Dawn?
Thank you. Thank you, Director Dice. Thank you, County Executive Elrich, Council President Friedson, Director Conklin, my colleagues, our federal partners, and all of our industry partners. And I have to say, I can't comment on Pepco in the before times or whatever that was referenced earlier, but I have to say, I used to think the number 7 was lucky. And a week before I got sworn in, a plane crashed up into an electrical tower just up the road. And I cannot say enough wonderful things about Pepco's support that night in helping someone who hadn't even been sworn in yet, but who was getting constituent questions and concerns and what do we do and how long is it going to take? And you all provided Herculean service that night alongside our public safety partners to get everything back up and running. So thank you. This is an incredible moment for our community, not just to show the power of collaboration and leadership and innovation, but because the community that we're sitting in is proud of this project. So it's not just government folks who are proud of this project, it's the residents who are here, who are excited to see this come online and excited to know that this is a part of their neighborhood. And I say this because we talk a lot about buses in this area, as Director Conklin knows, and Director Dice knows, and Greg Ossent knows, because they're not always happy about buses up here. But we are making progress with that too, with respect to the MCPS bus depot just down the road. Our residents take climate change seriously, and they know how critical innovation is to making sure we are doing our level best to move the ball down the field on this important issue. I am so excited about what this will do, not just in terms of the reduced emissions for our ride-on buses, but the hydrogen component of this is incredibly exciting. And it's a win for us in terms of resiliency. And I was talking to Will as we came in today about, there's nothing that hits home on the point about resiliency planning and preparedness like having a 12-mile tornado cut through your area, a week ago. And we have to put that top of mind all the time. And this project will help us to keep our transportation infrastructure resilient in the ways it needs to be moving forward as we continue to deal with ever escalating climate changes. I want to thank our colleagues who are here today at different levels for continuing to push forward on searching and finding opportunities to do more microgrids at other county facilities, because this is a start, it's not the finish. And I just want to say thank you for everyone who's willing to come to the table to constantly be a collaborative partner. It's great to be able to look out and to see smiling faces, even on a day like today, and know that we can pick up the phone and know that we can have those conversations and know that everybody, regardless of what hat you wear and what department you lead or what your primary interests are, can come to the table to work together to do something amazing. So thank you.
County Executive used the term about this being an island. We've heard about resiliency. The Councilmember Lutke mentioned the plane that flew into the tower. One of our other microgrids is just a couple miles down the road at our Animal Services and Adoption Center, which is an island, a microgrid. When that plane flew into that tower, the power in that whole area was out, except for the Animal Services and Adoption Center. Now, that's not necessarily the proof of concept that I would have chosen, but it certainly proves, and this is what we're going to see here, when there's natural disasters and other problems, we'll still be able to enable the Department of Transportation to put ride-on buses on the street to service the needs of the public, which are not just transportation needs, but also emergency response needs. So this is how important this is. This is already, you've heard about its innovation, about its initiative. This is an extremely complex project and not an inexpensive project. And frankly, Montgomery County would be very challenged to do this on its own. And that's why using energy as a service and bringing on the right partner is so critical to the successful outcome. And what makes me feel good is under the heading of proof of concept is we've already done this once and it's working fantastic. And I want to bring up Juan Macias, the CEO of Alpha Structure, to talk to us. It is a delight to work with this company. They've proven themselves. This is not the only project they do, but they're just as excited about this as we are. Juan?
Thank you, Director Dice. Hello, everyone. How's everybody today? Enjoying the suntan? Yeah? Look, Juan Macias, I'm the CEO of Alpha Structure. It's a pleasure to be with you here today. I just wanted to take a moment and give you a short reflection. We are not, as a world and as a country, on a glide path for 1.5 degrees C and meeting our decarbonization objectives, right? We have a lot of
Representing Senator Chris Van Hollen and has a citation to present.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. Of course, the senator wishes he could be here, but he's sent a citation for me to present on his behalf. We are so happy to have been involved in securing the federal funding for wonderful projects like this. So this citation is presented to the Montgomery County government on the occasion of its groundbreaking for the Integrated Transit Depot Microgrid in recognition of its significant progress towards a more sustainable future and with gratitude for its innovation alongside Alpha Structure in designing the largest integrated transit depot microgrid in the country and with best wishes for its continued success. Signed, Senator Chris Van Hollen, on this day, the 14th of June, 2024.
That's how you give a short speech. And lays a precedent for our next speaker, DC Metro Director, FTA Region 3, David Schilling. See what you can do about that, huh?
I'll be brief as well, but maybe not that brief. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Schilling, the DC Metro Director. On behalf of FTA Administrator Veronica Vanderpool and our Region 3 Regional Administrator, Terry Garcia Cruz, I want to thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. So soon after taking office, President Biden announced the administration's goal for the United States to halve our greenhouse gas emissions by 2030. We know that transportation is the highest emitting sector in our economy, contributing close to 30% of the greenhouse gases this country produces. So of that, transit only makes up 1% of, and FTA is committed to doing its part in reducing carbon dioxide pollution, improving air quality, and taking a bite out of climate change. The transit microgrid project we are celebrating today here is clear evidence that you are partners in these goals with us. Through our collective commitment, we are making inroads to tackle the climate crisis together. So thanks to the bipartisan infrastructure law, FTA has provided $3.3 billion so far to support transit agencies nationwide to help put better, cleaner buses on the roads across America. And that's just since 2021. At last count, we have more than 6,000 zero-emission buses operating, funded, or ordered, more than double just 5 years ago. And it's a testament to Montgomery County Ride-On that you guys have a big chunk of them as well. Every bus we convert to zero emission is one less vehicle sending harmful emissions into our air. So 2 years ago, the county received a $14.8 million FTA low no emissions grant to buy 13 zero emission hydrogen buses and this microgrid project. This facility, as you've heard, it's still in my talking points, I'm glad I got it right, is the largest bus depot microgrid in the country and the first on the East Coast to produce green hydrogen on site, and is a key component to the county's commitment to transition to a zero emission fleet by 2035. So this would be a huge accomplishment, and we applaud your efforts. So finally, thank you for your support and traveling with us on the road to net zero. It's projects like this that are leading the way to a greener, cleaner, sustainable transit in America. We also want to thank you for your continued partnership on our mission to improve America's communities through public transportation. Thank you.
Give him an extra hand. That was good. Now, Deputy Assistant Secretary with Department of Energy, Jeff Marudian. Mr. Marudian.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is so exciting to be here. I want to thank you all for the opportunity and congratulate you, Mr. County Executive, and all of the folks who have worked hard to make this day a reality. When President Biden took office, he made clean energy a priority and backed it up with immediate action, championing the bipartisan infrastructure law and the Inflation Reduction Act, which have fundamentally changed our ability to deploy clean energy projects all across this country. And it's exciting for me to be here in my own backyard to celebrate this incredible milestone. We are, in the Biden-Harris administration, focused on furthering hydrogen as a strategy, focusing on the deployment of renewable technologies like solar and wind, and of course, doing everything we can to further the electrification ecosystem as well. And it's exciting to be here to celebrate a project that incorporates all of those things. That's also why we have developed a first of its kind strategy as a country on hydrogen, creating a hydrogen hub system that the president himself announced, developing a national strategy on hydrogen, and making significant investments in research and development so that we can hit the president's goals of a net zero economy by 2050 and a 100% clean electricity system by 2035. This project is really exciting. It's proof that this is not only the future, but this is today. And whether it's 10 months or 18 months, I look forward to being back here to celebrate the project's completion and to see what the county has in store next. So thank you all so much. Congratulations.
All right, 11 months. When I stole a senior analyst from the Department of Environmental Protection many years ago, forming the new Office of Energy and Sustainability, I got Eric Kaufman, who was full of juice and vinegar and enthusiasm and just exhausting, frankly. But he has done well for the county and for the state, and is now the Director of Energy Programs for the Maryland Energy Administration. Eric?
It can be a little exhausting. What can I say? Passion. So, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, County Executive Elrich. Thank you, Director Dice. Come here with regards from Governor Moore and Maryland Energy Administration Director Paul Pinsky, and really how important projects like this are to enabling these transit resources that help us reduce one of the largest greenhouse gas emission sources and the challenges of the state of Maryland, which is transportation. By doing all these things, a system, the vehicles, we're helping to reduce that and reduce the impacts in achieving our state and local climate goals. Public transportation takes cars off the roads. It's the lifeblood of communities. It helps address equity and all the needs to keep our economy running and jobs. And we applaud the county's plans for this incredible facility, bringing solar and energy storage and hydrogen together to power these fleets with that emphasis on the communities it serves and the equity it brings. Projects like this take a look at the big picture. And really, Montgomery County deserves immense credit for leading the way in these big picture projects that serve as shining examples for everybody and are essential to the achieving Governor Moore's and the county's objectives. And Governor Moore's objective be brought to us 100% clean electricity by 2035. Wouldn't that be great to see? 60% in the Climate Solution Now Act, authored by principal author was our agency director Pinsky, is a 60% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2045 and 2031, and a net zero economy by 2045. Incredible, but we can't do it without this. And Montgomery County has been a partner with MEA since the beginning. We provided resources to help plan this facility, and it is my pleasure to announce here today, you're all the first to know, a $1.5 million Resilient Maryland Capital Grant to help defray the capital costs and to join in with all the partners contributing resources to make this happen. That program is, thank you. That program is really designed to help us bring all these pieces together to be able to get it done, which is Montgomery County is showing here today. And it funds other projects as well across the state. And we really look forward to Montgomery County's leadership being an example for other similar projects across the state, an example to other local governments, school systems, and communities. Thank you for your time on this warm afternoon. And, I do hear that when those solar canopies are done, the next time something like this is done, it'll be in the shade.
Hey. Thank you, Eric. If I'd have known you were going to do that, I'd have let you speak before the county executive. We do these things not in a vacuum, but with the operations of the county in mind, and ultimately service to county residents and visitors are preeminent. And what DGS does as a core mission, primarily we get stuff done, but we get stuff done for our partner and client departments. And it's a pleasure of mine to invite the Director of Montgomery County Department of Transportation, a gentleman, and I'm proud to say a friend, Chris Conklin.
Thank you, David. I think at this point, we all agree that the sun is very powerful and look forward to harnessing that energy and making us more comfortable for the next event here as well. I wanted to say just a couple of things. First of all, this is an example of how in Montgomery County, we act and then we plan and then we act again. We started this journey without a defined strategy for converting this fleet, but we knew we needed to act. And we've made lessons along the way that we've learned, and we put that to use and released a zero emission bus transition plan just last month that charts the course for converting all 400 of these buses to a carbon-free fuel source. So we're really excited about that. It's part of a strategy to reduce the carbon emissions from transportation generally, which is the largest source here in Montgomery County at over 40% of our emissions. The first of those is to improve the productivity of the transit system we have. You're all familiar, or may all be familiar with the Ride on Reimagine study that's going on right now so that we get more productivity out of that system. With participation from our colleagues at the Federal Transit Administration, we're looking forward to rolling out 2 new bus rapid transit lines to complement the Flash on US 29 in the next couple years, and that's very exciting as well. And third is to reduce the emissions from that fleet, which is what you're here today to celebrate the groundbreaking for this new facility from. The other thing I wanted to do today is Alan Watts still here? Alan Watts back there with his cell phone is our manager of this facility. So over the next 18 months, 11 months, 10 months, whatever it is, we're going to be testing his patience. We're going to be installing columns. We're going to be taking things out of service. So Alan, in advance, thank you for making this project a successful construction project and for getting this system operational. And lastly, I just want to thank all of our colleagues in Annapolis that have contributed funding to this, along with our federal partners and our county government, the county council who's made this happen. And we look forward to welcoming you back here, hopefully on a hot day again, but where you are sitting in the shade from the solar canopy. So thank you all.
Alan, thanks, and also apologies. It's going to be quite a dance over the next year, or maybe 12 months. Okay. I got good news. Our last speaker, but certainly not least, is Kamala Olivier, Senior Vice President, Operations, Chief Operating Officer with PEPCO. As County Executive Lesson Intimated actually said, our relationships with PEPCO have been up and down, but I'm delighted that PEPCO is a strong partner in all of our efforts. This is just the 5th microgrid, and there's more coming, and they're all dependent on our partnership with our energy infrastructure partner, PEPCO. And I'm delighted to have the operations and COO here today. Thank you.
Well, thank goodness we improved the relationship, because that could have gotten really weird with the comments, right? So I had to ditch my whole speech because we have hit on so much and there's a common theme. One, really excited for PEPCO to be here today celebrating Montgomery County. And as I was listening to folks talk, what I thought about is I have a really old t-shirt from Under Armour, and the t-shirt says, "Erase all doubt." Erase all doubt. And County Executive, I can only imagine when you first had this vision, people were saying, how are we going to fund it? Who are we going to partner with? We'll never be able to get this done. You're talking about us being the first. We don't even know what we're doing here. Did it go a little something like that? Yeah. Well, happy that we're standing here today, and through partnerships with Montgomery County, with Alpha Structure, with the leadership of Montgomery County across the board, that vision became reality through grit, tenacity, hard work, commitment, and dedication. And so I want to say thank you for the partnership. Thank you for allowing us to be part of this journey with you. The journey has just begun. There's more to come. I want to say thank you to the PEPCO team who works tirelessly to keep safe, reliable, resilient systems in place, as well as the team who worked in partnership with Montgomery County on this project. And I want to say thank you for erasing all doubt, making this a reality, because that's about not just speaking about it, but being about it. Thank you.
Believe it or not, we are right on time. So we're going to move to the ceremonial part. Enough of our speechifying. Typically, on a new project, we break ground here. We're really going to be breaking a lot of concrete, but I didn't trust any of these people with jackhammers. So we're going to move over here, and you're welcome to come and watch us do whatever it is we do. And with that, our ceremony will conclude, and I thank you for coming.
Their lives at Bible study. 60 years later, we're still dealing with racism and violence in our churches